we have a brand whether we know it or not. It's really important for us to control it, especially in the real estate industry.
Realizing who my ideal audience was, figuring out what kind of content they want to absorb, and then come back for more.
Relating with other people, I want to show the behind the scenes. And when it comes to my clients, I have all my clients' phone numbers, but where are they spending their time? That's where I want to be.
I think agents struggle with consistency so much because of the systems that they don't have in place. If you can start thinking like a business owner, instead of exchanging your time for money, you'll start to exchange your money for money.
Thank you guys. Pull this away a little bit. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out for this and supporting it. More importantly, for supporting the charity that this was all tied to, which is City of Dreams. And for those of you that don't know it, that's a local San Francisco company, a nonprofit that supports after-school programs for kids in the inner city. So that's what your $5 expensive ticket cost went to, so I appreciate it. But welcome to Canopy. This is the beautiful shared working space that I'm lucky to call my office. There's 2 floors, fantastic place. So you'll see lots of events happening here, in this space and in other industries, but wonderful place, and appreciate everyone coming out and supporting it. So what gave rise to this whole concept, or birth to the idea, was a panel that I sat on up in Seattle that Austin was actually moderating. It was called The Social Lender. And the audience was comprised of all lenders and mortgage professionals in the space, and the theme of the evening was all centered around how to not remain invisible going into the new decade. Invisible online, that is, and having a brand. And I got to thinking about our market here locally, and the agents I work with, and people I partner with, and lenders as well. And the dilemma is the same, the challenge is the same. How do we not remain invisible online heading into this new decade? And whether people want to acknowledge that or not, it's a real challenge. So that's what gave birth to this idea. There's going to be many more of these series that we're going to put on over the next year. And so I'm hopeful that this is of great value to you, and that you come back and check out more. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh shit, this guy's going to start hitting me up for business. He wants deals. No, that's not going to happen. I can promise you, here's my word, not one of you will hear from me about going to get an overpriced coffee to talk about New Year's deals. And you have plenty of other lenders filling up your inbox doing that, so by all means, enjoy. And also, bankers in ill-fitting suits sending you swag kits. That's not what my value is to you. Mine is going to be in the space of offering strategies, ideas, concepts, think tanks like this that are going to help you forge an indefensible brand online that can work across various platforms and ultimately actually generate business for you. So I'm hopeful that tonight is the start of that relationship between you and I. And with that, I want to introduce this panel. I'm very appreciative for making the trek all the way up in their respective cities. So we'll start on that with Austin.
What's up, guys? I'm Austin. I am a realtor turned marketer. I am also the owner of Brantegic, which is a social media marketing agency. Kind of our model is we operate as a fraction of the companies we work with, and we help the companies we work with look as good as they are. Work with a lot of people in the real estate industry, a few individuals, but mostly brokerages or large teams up in Seattle, and also in the lending industry as well.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is Grant Wise. I'm the co-founder of Whitley. Whitley is a client generation software for real estate agents. I teach real estate agents how to legally and ethically print as much money as they would possibly like to make month in and month out. That's probably the gist of what I try to do. So to build client generation systems in your business, you need to know how to generate leads. You need to know how to build a brand, and you need to know how to convert customers. And when you can do that, you can create my favorite words, which is predictable production in your companies. So that's what I do.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Matt Layton. I am a full-time real estate agent in Arlington, Virginia, and my goal is on creating a brand and acquiring new clients through video marketing. And ultimately, my goal is to create the best listing videos in the world.
Good evening. My name is Ed Stulak, a millennial realtor. I am based in New Jersey. I am a real estate agent. However, my true passion lies in teaching real estate professionals about the importance of social media and personal branding.
All right, big hand for the camera. Okay, we're going to do like this, and I want to leave plenty of time for Q&A at the end, because I That's what everybody came for. But the first question I'm going to tee up is for Austin. He told me that he runs a very successful branding company. He works with a lot of the large brokerages in his market. And Austin, I just want to ask you, why is having a brand so important for realtors?
Yeah, so quick question for everybody. Who has, before a meeting, gone to maybe LinkedIn or Instagram and looked at somebody online on social media? Right, so people buy who we know, who we like, and who we trust, right? So we have a brand whether we know it or not, and it's really important for us to control it, especially in the real estate industry. One thing that I really like about just the power of branding is, one, it allows you to attract who you want to work with, because if you're consistently branding yourself as a foodie or this expert, then you're going to attract those types of people, and you're also going to vet out the people that you don't want to work with. I think a good example is like Arjun, for instance. Like, he probably works with a lot of hustlers, people who are motivated, very like-minded people, and vets out people that maybe he doesn't necessarily want to work with or won't really jive well with. So really the power of having a brand is how you're going to show up, and it's really relevant, especially in real estate, especially in a forward city like San Francisco, because the fact of the matter is the attention is on social, and we're all doing it, and especially in a city like this, it's more important than ever.
Thanks, Austin. So moving over now to a platform, which is Instagram. And Ed Stulak is branded as the millennial realtor in his market. And Ed has a great story because he built his entire real estate business and following purely using Instagram. No paid ads, nothing, just organic reach, hustling and hitting it hard. And so Ed, I wanted to ask you is, what is it that actually helped spur your following? What is it that you've done to create this following in this community on Instagram?
So, for the longest time, I never knew what my personal brand was going to be, or who I was going to really curate my content to. I kind of started completely backwards. I had the mentality to create a following first and then sell something to them. So all I worried about was days in and days out, how to be bigger on Instagram, how to be bigger, how to get more followers, how to get more likes and leads and this and that. But I never knew what to sell to them. And then I realized one day it was going to be real estate. And the point is that the way that I got even to that point is realizing who my ideal audience was, figuring out what kind of content they want to absorb, digest, and then come back for more. Right? And it's this the repetitive cycle that I call the content cycle. You give them stuff they want, they absorb it, they digest it, they come back for more, and on and on and on. And I realized people, they want free stuff, right? I know when I get offered something for free, and there's nothing but, yes, I want it, right? Same concept applies to my social media and how I even got about to I have over 45,000 followers now on social media, and it's still growing because I know what realtors want, right? My ideal audience are real estate professionals, because I'm going to sell to you my coaching program. You are looking for buyers and sellers and renters and whatever else that you might be. What do they want to absorb that's going to make them follow you, right? So once you realize what they want and you create that content on a consistent basis and be persistent with it, don't give up. You're going to eventually, after the 15th post, say, screw this, I'm done. Don't do that, just keep going, and eventually it'll start, I call it the hockey stick curve, right? Eventually it'll start slowly, slowly, slowly until it blows up. And that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's how it happened for me.
Thanks. So Matt is a rising star at his brokerage out in Virginia. He's developed a reputation for landing big, noteworthy deals strictly from YouTube videos. And Matt, you spend a lot of time and money filming property listing videos, and some people may think, well, those videos are nice, but do they actually sell property? And you have an interesting take on it, so answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me. Do listing videos help sell property? The answer is no. If your property is $200,000 overpriced, having a listing video with a couple EDM drops will not sell that property. But if you price it accordingly, and if it shows well, and if it doesn't smell like wet dog, and you do a really cool attention-grabbing listing videos, the goal is twofold. It's attention and it's emotion. So our goal is to get emotional buyers walking through our open houses. And let me give you two key takeaways that you can use in your own business to get the right eyeballs on these videos the first. In our MLS in Arlington, Virginia, we can't have like our face in a property walkthrough video because of rules or whatever. But what we do is we just put in the listing description, like, search the property address on YouTube for the 4K video tour. So that's one way. And then the second way is I sell a lot of condos. So what I'll do is I'll tell the owner to send out a message to all of the other owners through Building Link or whatever intranet service. So now all of a sudden, all of the buyers can see how to watch the video. All of the owners can now easily click on that video through that Building Link message or whatever the intranet service is out here. So now we have buyers walking into our open houses talking about our films that we do. We have every single owner in that building that has seen that film. So I think we all know when we get a listing, sure, it's awesome to sell that one listing, but how can we leverage that listing into many more listings? The reason I love YouTube is because it's that evergreen content. So when you have your YouTube title and you tag that one specific neighborhood you're in, or you tag the condominium building, whenever a potential seller or buyer is looking for that exact neighborhood down the line, that amazing video is going to show up.
All right, so Grant travels around the country speaking to agents, speaking at conferences, coaching realtors, and so he sees where things are falling short of selling with Grant. Before we get into a lot of the online system stuff and the technology you deal with, where do you see agents, since you're exposed to so many, struggling with consistency when it comes to either branding or marketing or having an online presence or trying to generate business online?
Do you guys struggle with consistency? Okay. Talk about the jokes and the drink glass raises, that's a problem. You guys, if you struggle with consistency, you might struggle with another thing. Anybody have any anxiety that stems from that? Stress, all those fun emotions. Anxiety is a pretty crappy feeling. It exists right here in the body. It's right between the gut and the heart, and it sucks to live with, right? And one of the things that I love doing is helping people build systems to eradicate those types of things, because you shouldn't be stressed out or anxious as a business owner. That's probably not why you got into the real estate industry, I would imagine. You wanted to become a business owner. But you didn't realize that you had the freedom now to choose which 80 hours a week you decided you wanted to work. Is that kind of how your business seems to work, right? I think agents struggle with consistency so much because of the systems that they don't have in place. You guys are taught to be producers. Has anybody ever been taught to be a producer, right? Make as many calls as possible, knock as many doors as possible, produce as much as possible. Do you want to know another word for producer? Employee. You've been taught to become really great employees for your team leads, for your brokers. And if you can start thinking like a business owner, what you will start to see is that instead of exchanging your time for money, you'll start to exchange your money for money. Does anybody work with investors? What do? They exchange their money for more money, right? Well, you can do that in business too, but you can't do it if you're the system. You can't do it if you're the reason that a lot of your business comes in. You can't do that, because if you stop, guess what happens? Your business stops too. And your business doesn't just stop for the amount of time that you stopped. There seems to be this compounding effect that exists in real estate. If you stop for a day, your business stops for 3. If you stop for a week, your business stops for a month. If you stop for a month, your business stops for a quarter. And you have to rebuild this momentum consistently. So the reason I believe that real estate agents struggle in large part, not just real estate agents, business owners in general, with consistency is because you're not looking at how you can create systems around the actions you're taking. As a business owner, you want to take the action one time to create a system around doing it. Because a lot of you make more than $12 an hour, right? I hope. I really hope. But you spend your time doing $12 an hour activities. Could you see how that would be a little bit silly as a business owner? I believe if you will create systems around the things that you do, most importantly, systems around the ways you make money, that you can eradicate the problems you're having with consistency, anxiety, and all the other things that follow that.
Thanks, Grant. Grant's also a diehard Chiefs fan. I told him he was voting against the game in this room, because people are already over it. But no, great answer. Austin, what do you tell people? Because the first step when trying to develop any kind of presence online is definitely figuring out the brand first, right? You can't just start creating things or having a voice on there without knowing what your brand is. So how do you define that?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people especially on social, get caught up with maybe analysis paralysis, or I don't know what to post, I don't know what my brand is. So one exercise that I go through with a lot of people, and with Arjun even when we started working together, was what we did was simply write down 10 facts about ourselves. Because when we have a brand, we want to be authentic, right? We want to be true to ourselves. We want to be consistent who we are online versus who we are offline. So what we do with Arjun, for instance, is we wrote 10 facts about him. Family, martial arts, this, that. And then from that, we pick the 5 that we want to be remembered for. So lending, he's a family man. And from there, what we'll do is reverse engineer that and create content around that. And that one allows you to be really clear on who you are, what kind of message you're communicating to people, especially on social, and also give you a platform to reverse engineer for content. So if you don't know what to post, then just revert to your top 5 things that are true about yourself and how you can post content to continue to double click on that story and reiterate that. So you know that it's true and authentic. I mean, it's something that we do with Arjun. If you see him, family, taekwondo, motivation, lending, all that stuff, and that's a great start for figuring out what your brand is. We do that a lot with personal brands as well as companies as well.
Nice. So circling back to anxiety, and one of the types of content that people will put out is video. But the apprehension of the barrier to that personally is that some people put, I don't like the way I come off looking on camera, it has to be perfect, it makes me nervous to do it, so I don't. You keep saying next month will be my month, next month will be my next month. The year goes by and then we showed up here. Saying we have to do it now. So, Matt, what do you say to people that are like, it has to be perfect, or I'm too nervous to do it, or I won't look good on there? What's your response to that? Because obviously you've been doing a lot of them, you've got a track record, and it's working.
Yeah, it's a really good question, because the learning curve for video, it's not instantaneous. It's not something where you do it twice and all of a sudden, you're Ryan Serhant with a vlog squad following you around. And in the age of social media, all we see is perfect online videos with like amazing, Beverly Hills estates and things of that nature. But what I want to do is, imagine your first real estate deal. Your first real estate deal as an agent, that's probably not representative of you as an agent now. I mean, I literally cringe thinking about my first real estate deal, and I know I'm not the only one in here that does. But when it comes to video, it's very simple. We just got to get the reps in. We just got to hit record over and over again, because the reality is your first couple videos are going to be a disaster. When you do them and you finally publish them, you're going to be like, this is amazing, I'm hooked, like let's keep doing it. But when you look back, we're not really looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. So we want to get like 1% better every single time. I've done maybe 250 YouTube videos. I'm embarrassed about half of them. But the reality is, people aren't looking at me and saying, oh, he missed a spot on his beard here, like what an idiot. Like they're scrolling so fast on their phones, they're not gonna know that you had one earring in and one not, or that your hair wasn't the best that day. They don't really care. What they care about is that you're showing up on their feed on a consistent basis. So what I like to do is I like to follow other agents outside of my marketplace, see what videos they're doing, learn about how I can put my own spin on it, and then just do videos over and over and over again. And I can't really worry about how I look or whether the video flopped, because I'm already on to that next piece of content. So in terms of anxiety, it is. I still get nervous doing videos, and that surprises some people, but the reality is I get over it. I'm not the one watching the videos. Everyone in here already knows how I look. They already know how I sound, so I don't care, and I think that's the mindset that a lot of people that are just going to start doing videos, that's the mindset to have.
So Ed, you give a lot of advice and you coach agents on being in the space online. What would you say if there was a new agent that came up and said, what platform should I be on? Is it one, is it two? Like, do you have to just give your advice, just personally speaking, because you've had success, obviously, in two of them, specifically, but what would those be?
So, who's on Instagram? Who's not on Instagram? Go to the App Store. INS. Okay. Anyway, Instagram is the absolute important platform to be on. When someone asks me for a business card, right? I'm at a networking event, they ask me for a business card. So first of all, I don't have any. I just tell them, follow me on Instagram, and they follow me. Number one, that's a new follower. Number two, they get to learn so much more about me on Instagram than my business card. On my business card, they're going to get my email, my office address, just irrelevant things that don't really matter. My Instagram, they're going to see my family, my friends. They're going to see me partying at 3 a.m. They're going to see everything. But that's because authenticity wins at the end of the day, right? If people can relate to you on a different level, then you're winning.
That would make me want to use you if you're partying at 3 a.m.
There we go. We'll talk later.
Okay.
So what I say is Instagram is that platform where you really want to be on. So it's very important. My second platform that I recommend you to be on, because as we know, all these platforms change, markets change, everything changes in life. Instagram changed as well. In the beginning, like if you've gotten on Instagram back in 2012, let's say, right, that was the kind of the beginning rise of it, people were getting a lot of engagement. People were getting a lot of followers. People were getting a lot of likes and comments and followers. Today, you're lucky if you get a little fraction of that. The new platform nowadays is TikTok. Who's on TikTok? Like 4 people are going to raise their hand. I'm not upset at the rest of you, because it's a brand new platform that not many people are on. However, explain to me how, if I have 200 followers on TikTok, okay, 200 followers, but I get 200,000 views on my videos, does that make sense? It doesn't add up. So you're asking me, what platform should you be on? Instagram, number 1, TikTok, number 2, because if you're on TikTok, you can take all those followers and all those views and exposure that you're getting and funnel it to where you want them to go to. If you want them to go onto your Instagram, which I recommend, you can do so, because now you're getting millions and millions of views that are just coming in just because right now. TikTok wants exposure. TikTok wants to be talked about at events like this and just and whatnot, right? So getting on TikTok is going to allow you to get a lot of exposure to let you funnel them towards where you want them to go to. Instagram, your website, your database, and on and on. So I mean, you're seeing Kim Kardashian, you're seeing everyone that's going on TikTok. So if I don't convince you, check out the other people, the other celebrities that are getting on the platform as well. So those are my 2 platforms that I would recommend.
Grant, in the online client generation space, everyone hears the expression, if you're trying to generate business online through some type of a sales model or platform, the cost per lead is a common expression, and people are always evaluating whether or not they want to make this marketing effort based on cost per lead. Why, in your opinion, is that whole notion of cost per lead basically useless?
How many of you in here know your cost per lead? How many of you buy leads? Should I raise your hand really fast? 1 person in this whole room buys leads. That's great. So none of what I'm going to say is going to matter to you at all, right? My next question usually is, how many of you know your cost per customer? Can anybody in here tell me what their cost per closing is? Okay. You guys are smart people. I've talked to a lot of you. I know it. How many of you consider yourself to be really good, savvy business people? Or you did until I asked my previous question. It seems to be that the kryptonite of a lot of real estate agents is in understanding how to actually grow a business. You guys know how to go out there and hustle, but I want you to hustle more intelligently. I want you to hustle in the right areas and understand the right metrics in your business, because when you do that, you can create a certain level of predictability. How many of you know how many homes you're going to sell in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days? Know exactly how many homes you're going to sell. Doesn't it feel good? Know exactly how much money you're going to make the next 4 months, 120 days? I get that you don't actually know, because you're seem to be gawking a little bit back there. That level of predictability is what looking at the right metric, that is what you can gain by looking at the right metrics. And even if you say, I don't spend money to get customers, Grant, I spend my time, so it's free. Some of you say that. Some of you are like, no, I promise. Please don't ask me more embarrassing questions. It's not free because you're spending your time to do it. Because you'll say it's free, and then in the next breath, you'll say, time is the most important thing I have. I can't get any of that back. A lot of you have something, it's just what we call your VPH, your value per hour. If you did the math, you would be shocked, because you would see that, like we see with most of our students, on average, most of our students are paying 8 times more money to acquire customers if they spend their time to do it. So if you can stop looking at how you can be the one that's generating all the business and you can start creating systems around those things, you can start to pay attention to some of the right metrics. Some of the largest companies in the world don't look at how much time they can all individually spend to go out there and grow their companies. They look at how much money they can spend to go out there and profit more money. So start paying attention to the right metrics. Your cost per lead is quite possibly one of the most irrelevant numbers that you have in your business. It's nothing more than a guide to tell you if you're going down the right path or not. It's your cost per closing. Dig into that, understand it. If you know that every $500 you spend in advertising, you get a commission check, and you know that you want to sell 5 homes a month, well, great. You just know to spend $2,500 a month in marketing, and you're going to predictively sell however many homes you want, month in and month out. So start paying attention to the right metrics, your cost per closing, your cost per commission check. I think it is unbelievably important, and I am shocked because I do travel. I was in Vegas a few days ago, and there was 1,000 realtors. There wasn't 50 or 60 or however many are here, and still yet, none of them understood these numbers. Like, you gotta pay attention to it. You have to, especially if you want to create the level of predictability that you want to create in your business.
So back over to YouTube as a platform, and there was a reason and a purpose behind kind of showcasing TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube because these are big video platforms. So Matt, I know you're a big endorser of YouTube, obviously. You land huge deals from it in your market all the time, and that defies logic to a lot of people, but why YouTube? If you had to tell someone, why, explain to them why should I do YouTube at all, or is that a waste of my time?
Yeah. First of all, that's a tough act to follow. Grant was looking at me when he was asking some of the questions. It's getting hot in here. So why YouTube? I think by far and away, YouTube is my favorite social media platform, and one that all of you should be using for 2 reasons. Number one, it's evergreen content. Have you ever searched Google and you've pulled up like an Instagram post? It doesn't really work that way. Like, YouTube and Google obviously love each other because Google owns YouTube. And the second reason, in addition to evergreen content, is you have the flexibility to take your content from YouTube and repurpose that across all platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, TikTok to a lesser extent because you gotta have the right dance moves like Ed has and the right sounds. But I love YouTube because it is longer form content, it is evergreen, you're seeing it forever. I mean, granted, I do love posting pictures on Instagram, I'm on Instagram all the time, but in terms of my favorite social media platform, YouTube, because of the evergreen content and because of the ways that you can repurpose that, I think to me, far and away, my favorite social media platform.
So again, platforms aside, it all comes back down to branding. So Austin, you talked about why branding is important, why you need to have one. How do you teach people or coach people to tactfully create a brand?
Yes, good question. I think Grant hits on this a lot, but treating your business like a business and taking your brand seriously, and just understanding the fact that your customers are on social media. There's a lot of companies here, obviously, and if we can understand, like as realtors, that we're actually a company, we're a business, how would a business do their marketing? How would a business brand themselves? So tactically, I think the first thing is coming up with a system for yourself. Coming up with a marketing plan. If you know your truths, if you know what your brand is, who your brand is, then all you need to do is reverse engineer that with content of how you can actually create a system around your marketing that's going to tell your story and achieve what you need it to achieve. Whether that's simply hiring a photographer for branding photos once a quarter, doing a video once a month, whatever that is. I think it's just understanding the fact that you're running a business. How would a business brand themselves? And taking it seriously and executing, creating a plan around it, and building a team. If you can look at social media as well as a platform to use, not abuse, then that's how you're going to win. Using it to a sense of, hey, I can get customers from this, like Ed does on Instagram, how Matt does on YouTube, and how can I use it to my advantage to reach these customers, to actually convert into real money, versus abuse it, which is just getting sucked into the vortex and scrolling all the time like I do. That's how you can really start.
Awesome. And most 60 to 70% of your business comes from Instagram leads. Your direct messages, engagement, what have you, which is a phenomenal number because the platform is at your disposal. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get it up and running. But what is if you can narrow it down, one or two strategies to generate actual business on Instagram? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, well, you're talking about content, you're talking about the long game, being patient with it, being authentic, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to put time and resources into it, I want to generate something. So how would you say that happens?
Cool. Okay. So I don't want to fluff it up too much. I don't want you to think that social media is just for entertainment, just to like stuff. I would really love to give you something that you can literally, right after we're done speaking, start applying right away. And this is one of my best ways to generate leads, and it's very simple. It costs me 20 minutes, maybe twice, 3 times a week, and I get more followers, more engagement, more exposure, which is kind of what we're looking for, right? This is what I do. I go on Instagram, okay? Maybe you can do it even right now. It's really up to you for the proactive people. You go into Instagram, you go into the search part, you type in your area, okay? So San Francisco, you type in hashtag San Francisco, and you start seeing everyone that's posting in that area, okay? That's number one. There are 2 options on there in the search part. You have the top posts and you have the most recent posts. I want you to go into the most recent posts because the most top post is kind of Instagram just saying like, oh, that one did really well, so we're going to promote it as the top post. That could have been a post from a year ago, maybe two months ago. You want the most recent post. People are posting 3 seconds ago, right? And you want to engage with them while they are there. So I want you to go on there and I want you to be judgmental as hell, okay? If you see a 13-year-old playing Fortnite, you do not engage. If you see a 28-year-old pregnant lady, engage, reach out, go onto her page. You're gonna go click on her page. You're gonna like a few pictures, okay? You're gonna like 2, 3 pictures. You're gonna go comment on one of the pictures, okay? People like to be emotionally touched, not just likes, right? All of a sudden, if she has a picture of her walking her dog on the beach, or let's say it's the San Francisco, let's say it's one of these beaches, okay? And she's walking her dog, you're gonna say, on her picture, okay? Oh my God, I was just there with my dog the other day. I love it there so much. And put like an emoji. You don't have to have a dog, by the way. We're realtors, right? We lie. I know I do. Lie if you have to. But try to make a genuine connection. Number 3, okay? I want you to go and actually go into her messages and reach out to her. But I don't want you to just text her. I don't want you to say, hey, my name is John, I'm with, Compass Real Estate, if you ever need anything, you and every other realtor does that. I want you to send an audio message, which is a feature that Instagram allows you to do. You either send her an audio message or a video message. You literally pull out your phone. For those that are afraid, you have bad hair, you're afraid, don't do a video then. Do an audio. It's very simple. I did about 28 of them today. Send an audio message and say, hey Jane, my name is Ed, I'm with Compass. Just wanted to reach out to you. I saw your content, I love it. I didn't even know you're in San Francisco. It's so funny, so am I, I'm a resident. If there's anything I can ever do to you, do for you, let me know. I would love to help you out with real estate and on and on. First of all, she's gonna get an audio message. She has no idea what that audio message says, so she has to listen to it. A text you can read and just, go away. An audio message, she has to listen to it from A to Z. And once she does, she either engages back or she does not. If she does, you keep it going and you just go on and on about it. This is literally how I get my listings. As a rookie agent, who's a rookie realtor, if anyone? Yeah? Cool, awesome. So for you guys, sometimes in the beginning you don't have enough money to really put into marketing and advertising. So I did this for a long time and I got people that reached back out after I sent them an audio message saying, it's so funny you just followed me. Like I'm looking to sell my house this year or something like that. But that goes back to branding, what Austin is very good with. You have to make sure that your branding is actually consistent with your message. So if they go onto your page and start being sneaky, like stalkerish, right? Like who's this person reaching out to me? They have to know that you're a real estate agent. They have to know that you're in the business. That message has to align with what your brand is about. So that's one way that I can tell you to go get leads on Instagram.
Grant, with online systems, because people are setting up sales systems and funnels, ads, whatever it might be. And I know this is a really broad question, but ultimately it's, everyone's after the steak and potatoes. How can they increase their conversion? How can agents, whatever system they might be using, whether it's one that you're familiar with or they're buying, whatever it is, how can they actually increase conversion in your opinion when you're coaching people?
I think it's a really great question for a lot of reasons, but we've seen a massive uptick in how many leads are being generated in the industry, right? You think that the consumer goes to Zillow, they opt in, and then that lead gets shared with 5 agents, right? Then they go to Realtor.com and they opt in, and that gets shared with 4 more agents. And then they go to Trulia, and this cycle continues to repeat itself. A couple of years ago, there were over 85 million leads generated, and I think it was a 2017 stat. There were only 5.5 to 6 million homes sold. That's roughly 9 leads per actual transaction that took place, which is fascinating. And it's not necessarily the first person to connect with the lead, pick up the phone, call, like you would think. It's the first person to connect with the lead by ways of building an actual relationship with the person that ends up winning the business. And so what I've seen with a lot of the real estate agents that we help is if you can implement systems that help you build that brand on autopilot, you can really do a lot of damage in the sales process. Because how many of you like working with buyers and sellers that are not ready? You don't. How many of you like doing that? Fascinating, right? How many of you like working with buyers and sellers that are ready to go right now? Boom. Awesome. Next question. You are going to make a really high ticket purchase. You all put yourself in the buyer's shoes or whatever. Big purchase, big ticket item. You find it, and then what happens? Do you jump instantly? Or do you wait and you think and you research and you ask people and you do this and you do that and you do this and you do that? So if we analyze your own purchase behavior, not that of buyers and sellers, yours, we find that you are actually overly annoyed with salespeople who connect with you and try to sell you like this. But we do the very same things. That's like a broker telling you to cold call and then not answering the phone whenever you call him, right? You have to pay attention to your own purchase behavior. There's nothing wrong with wanting to work with buyers and sellers that are ready to go right now, if you have systems in place that will help you create relationships with those people. So I'm really passionate about video marketing. I don't know how many people in this room are doing it, but I think that video marketing is crucial. I know a lot of the guys on this panel agree with that, because it allows us to tap into some really, really, really cool things. And I'm going a little bit over my time here, and I understand that. I'm really sorry, but I have to ask this question because I want you to understand why video works so well. How many of you in here have a favorite actor or celebrity or athlete or something like that that you follow? Just shout it out. Keanu Reeves. Interesting. Okay. What else we got? Joe Pesci. Really? Okay. J-Lo. Give me one more. Jennifer. I really like Jennifer Aniston myself. Really, really do. So Keanu Reeves. Sorry. Keanu Reeves, okay? So let's say you and I are having a conversation, and I start to bash Keanu Reeves. And like, his acting sucks. He's got this stupid accent. I didn't like him in that Surfer movie. I think that he should have died in the Bus movie. Like, if I start saying all these crazy things, right? What do you instinctively feel? Offended. Okay. So if you guys didn't hear that, if I start bashing one of his people, he starts feeling offended. Do you know Keanu Reeves personally? No. Okay. Does he know you personally? No. Okay, you only know about him because of the movies and you've seen him on social media and those types of things. Right. Yet, if I start talking bad about him, you'll blindly defend him. That's the feeling. That's the emotion. The reason that this happens, it's called a parasocial relationship. It's where one person builds a relationship with a character, but the character has no idea the other person exists. It's most common in celebrities because of TV, right? Our TV devices are no longer these things that sit in rooms, and our networks are no longer ABC, NBC, CBS. Our TV devices are these. I have one kidney left. I'd rather you take that than this cell phone. My networks are not ABC, NBC, CBS. They're Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn. So what's happening today is really fascinating. It's no longer the celebrities that are becoming famous. Who is it? Influencers. Why? Because we're seeing them in video form on our phones. What happens when you run into somebody you feel like you've been connected with on social media for a long time? What do you say? Oh my God, I feel like I know you, right? We've never met before. How many of you'd love a bunch of people that blindly and faithfully followed you the way that this man loves Keanu Reeves in this market, right? Make you spit out your wine. How many of you would like that? Of course, everybody would. And that's what video does for your brand. The simple act of putting out video content. We have been programmed since we were little kids to celebritize what we see behind that screen. So what I think agents can do today to increase their conversion rates is implement video marketing into your business, A, right? But B, make sure that you're following people all over the internet. Does that ever happen to anybody? You go to Amazon to buy a product and then all of a sudden it's everywhere until you buy it? Do the same thing with your brand. When a lead opts into your business, instantly start following those people all over the internet. You do that with things like remarketing and a little bit of marketing ad budget, through something like Facebook and Instagram. But you can build a connection with people. You can sell people before you ever show up to sign the paperwork if you'll use things like video. So if you're wondering how can I increase my conversion rates, video marketing with retargeting is one way that you can do that, and I think it's one way that just knocks it out of the park. What we're seeing is a double, if not triple, increase in conversion rates because people are building those relationships on autopilot. So hopefully that answers the question.
Awesome. Really awesome. Thank you. So those are the questions I have for these guys, and I know you guys have some. I want you to give them a chance to do a closing thought, but I want to leave enough time for Q&A, and then also, more importantly, you to even mix and ask questions, probably with any of these panelists or of yourselves. So, questions from anybody? Yeah, Arjun.
Thank you all. I have a question for Ed and Matt. So I see Remax and Century 21. Just want to understand how big of a part are those brands in your business? How did you select those brokerages, and what makes good brokerage good brokerage?
Thanks for your question. What's your name? Michael. So I joined Century 21 in 2014. I've been with them for 6 years, and when I joined them, I'm going to admit this, I didn't know about Century 21, but I also didn't know about Keller Williams. I didn't know about Remix. I didn't know anything. I didn't join Century 21 because they sponsor the baseball home run contest. You know what I mean? Like I didn't join them because of the brand. I joined them because I met someone that I connected with that I really liked his vibe. And in terms of my marketing, I think the biggest thing for me is creating an individual brand separate from my brokerage. Now, when it comes to what does a brokerage offer, sure, they offer an office, they offer tech support, all that good stuff. But I recently had someone say, Matt, I don't even know, I just know you as Matt, the real estate agent. I don't even know your brokerage. And to me, that was the biggest compliment I could ever have, because I don't want to be Matt with Century 21. I don't want to be, Matt with Compass or Matt with someone else, because if I am, then that's all I am. I'm just the power of whoever else is behind me. And to me, that just means I'm the same as the 1,000 other agents in my brokerage. So in terms of the brokers, I love Century 21. I'm loyal to them. They offer good support. But they also allow me to have the creativity and the flexibility to do what I want, and they're there to support me when I need it.
I chose Remax because they believe in my vision. I'm very simple. It didn't come down to the splits. It didn't come down to the commission or the leads. It really didn't. Are they the best in the world? Yeah, so is every other agency, right? When I spoke with the broker, at first, he brought me in to teach him about Instagram. So that was his way of, the cheap call, right? I said, okay. Overpriced, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Everything is San Francisco is crazy.
It's okay if it was cheap.
That's Jersey. Yeah. Anyway, we sat down. I taught him Instagram. He said, I love you. You need to come here, which I was expecting. However, when I spoke with him at the end of it, I said, all right, cool, but I have a few conditions. Number one, you believe in what I'm doing and you push it. And so of course, what is that? I told him I want to travel the world. I want to speak on stages with awesome entities that know what they're doing, and I want to bring value to the real estate community. Is that cool? That's going to take me away from the office. It's not going to bring me a lot of sales. It's not going to bring you a lot of sales, not a lot of commission. Is that cool? What is he supposed to say? A lot of people would say, oh no, we want more sales and this and that. Long story short, he said yes, and I'm going to help you do it. And that touched my heart. If you believe in my vision as much as I believe in it, then we can work together.
Any other questions? Anybody? Bonnie, it's back. My relative.
What if you're doing content and putting a ton of work and effort into it, enjoying it, getting a great return on it, but you want to 10x it? What do you do next then? How do you take it to the next level?
Good artists copy, great artists steal. Pablo Picasso, okay? Did you know that Pablo Picasso didn't come up with his own style of art? Do you know who he stole that art from? Or that style? Do we know? Does anyone know? I don't even know. That guy had a local, small brand, that wasn't good, right? Pablo had a big brand, he knew what's up, he wanted to get bigger and more exposure. So what did he do? He stole that because he saw it's gonna work. What I do to 10x my brand or to 10x my content, I look at my competitors, I see the big guys that are doing it right, and I steal from them and I put my own little recipe to it, my own ingredient to make it my own. So no one says like, oh, that's totally his, you know, none of that. So good artists copy, great artists steal. If you see someone else within, let it be the real estate industry, or maybe it's a tattoo artist, or a plumber, or a musician, like whatever it is, and they're doing it right, and it sounds right, steal it from them. If it's that picture, if it's that angle, that video, that caption that pops up, or like whatever it is, steal it from them. 10x.
Austin, you have anything on that topic?
Grant does. Sounds like
He's ready.
This is going to be a really dumb question, and I'm sorry. But I want to ask you, how do you buy rice? And I want to give you a little bit of a... How do you buy rice? If you go to... Do you go buy a field, and then you sow it all up, and then you plant the rice, and then you water it, and you grow it, and then you harvest it? Or do you go to the store and you buy a $3 bag of rice? It's a really dumb question, right? What I've found about a lot of real estate agents is they want to get into the content game, but then they got to do it consistently to stay relevant and to continue to grow and really 10x like we're talking about. And what I've always done is I've done a little bit the opposite. Instead, I will study what problems people are actually having, and I'll go be really intentional about content. So I actually don't create content every day. I'm not going to. I don't want to. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not that guy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be really intentional about the videos that I create, and the ones where I get a ton of engagement, a ton of interaction, a ton of leads, a ton of those types of things, I'm gonna promote them. I'm going to put a little bit of money behind the things that I know are working really, really, really well, and that's one way. And it's a huge way that you can 10x the attention that you get on things that you know are working really well. If I put out content and nobody talks about it, nobody interacts with it, nobody likes it, I'm probably just going to move on from that piece of content. But if you're putting stuff out, I like for my videos to become employees that work for me for a long period of time. Last year I put out a piece of content. It was one video, 6 minutes long. I got a lot of engagement from it. I promoted it for 9 months, and it produced revenue for me every single month for 9 months. I probably spent $15,000 on that video, and it earned me over $250,000 in income, right? So I'm gonna figure out which pieces of my content are performing the best, and I'm going to promote those, and then I'm gonna track, right, what types of returns I'm getting on those things. So if I was gonna 10x it, sorry for the dumb question in the beginning, but like I'm gonna figure out what works the best, the easiest, and then I'm gonna amplify that with a little bit of money and track my returns so I know how profitable it is.
Awesome. Another question.
That's great.
A couple more. Jennifer.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit more when you said conversion.
Okay.
Because I think the definition of conversion is different, and I wanted to know, and especially from you, Austin, because I started out my career with a brand. In fact, people sometimes don't even know my name; they just know I'm at Modern Agent. And so my question is that when you say conversion, are you talking about leads that are coming in, and then the agents are following up with those leads, and then those leads are looking at Instagram and then following up? Or what I'm saying, which is what I call reverse cold call. I have people who find me on Instagram, they DM me and say, "You're great, love what you do, we want to work with you." So I just wanted to, if you could expand on what you think is conversion.
Conversion in my world is money in the bank. And so I've never been able to take a lead to the bank and cash that check. I've never been able to do that with my appointments either, right? They only cash money. So in my world, I don't know if anybody else feels different about this, it's money in the bank. That's what a conversion is. In my business, in your business, in the pizza business, like in any business, in my opinion, a conversion is somebody that has signed the paperwork at the closing table and you got your commission check. That's what I look at when we look at our cost per conversion, is what is our cost per commission check? What's our cost per money that I can deposit in the bank? So I don't know if anybody has a different take on that.
So what is meaning before all of that, what's the initial, so I'm me, you're you, you're out there in the world, right? So if you're just a client or a buyer, you've at some point filled out a form, then that form goes to Realtor.com, and then Realtor.com sells me that lead. So I've never bought those, I don't do anything, I don't even speak in leads. So I guess what I'm saying is that I get that, but that's how we tabulate conversion. So I'm just wondering how many people really look at that, forget the lead fee. You are out there doing Instagram every day, I'm on stories every single day, you know, just a cold call lead that comes through Instagram, a cold DM.
In my mind, that's a lead. I mean, your cost per lead. I'm going to look at my cost per lead, my cost per appointment, and ultimately my cost per conversion. And I'm going to look back at what actions did I have to take to create those results. How many Instagram, and I have my team go through and do this because I really struggle with putting content out there consistently just because I don't want to do it sometimes. And I know the value of it and I understand that. My team literally had to reverse engineer that for me and say, Grant, do you understand every post you put on social media is worth $560 something to the company? And I'm like, well, no, I got to do more of that stuff. Like, that sounds awesome, right? So they reverse engineered me and they figured out how to get me to go out there and create more content. So I think that it could be a little bit arbitrary, but it's how you decide that you want to look at it. How many Instagram posts do I need to put out to get a DM, to get a lead? And then if you consistently track those actions, you'll get your way to how many Instagram posts do I got to put out there? How many stories do I have to get a commission check? I think any lead source that you have, any medium that you have can become this predictable source of income for you, whatever that is, if you reverse engineer it. And then it becomes very, okay, I know exactly, my team tells me every day, Grant, we got to put out 7 posts today. We got to put out 11 posts today if we want to increase our revenue by this much. We have to put out 12 posts. Like, they're consistently feeding me that information. They're reverse engineering the actions so that I know what actions to take on a daily basis. I don't know if this answers your question at all, but hopefully it was a valuable answer. I don't know if anybody else would like to add to that, but really, none of you guys want to just make me up here talk?
I would just say what you're doing sounds awesome. Like, they're very warm leads that are coming through, so yeah. And then he's the data guy, so he likes the metric stuff. I don't know. That's not my department.
One more question.
One of the challenges that I get to hear with a lot of realtors that I speak with in managing their social media accounts is managing their personal account and their business account. And you have that on Instagram, you have that on Facebook, and then you have your single LinkedIn account. So I personally am managing 5 accounts. How do you guys find, or what do you do, or what are some of the ways to manage that? Or how do you find, what do you do for your business account versus your personal account? How do you find that perfect balance?
Yeah, good question. For Instagram, what I suggest is, like, is it just you that's a realtor?
Yeah.
Do you have a team or anything?
No.
So I would just make that your business page, because people are going to be working with you, and I think it'll just become too much duplicate content if you're just posting on your business Instagram page and your personal Instagram page. I don't know if there's going to be anything too much different.
What if you're building a brand and the brand is not your name?
Once it gets big, I mean, what I would say, once it gets too big, then that's when I would convert it to a actual brand. But I don't see any issue with using your personal as a business. But when it comes to Facebook, I think there should be some differentiators. One, because you should have a business page, because SEO, obviously, you can do ads. But for Instagram specifically, I would just say keep it one. And that's what I always recommend to people, is because they're going to work eventually with you. Unless you have a big team or a big brokerage, then it can be a team effort. Does that help? Cool.
One more, yep.
Real quick question. When it comes to the algorithm on social media, it's something that just happened to me over when I was walking over here. A friend of mine recently had a baby, but I haven't talked to her in 2 or 3 years. I have her phone number. I could have texted her and said, oh, hey, congratulations, instead of Messenger on Facebook. I'm thinking now I should start messaging more through the apps, because then there's that engagement and I'm going to show up on the newsfeed. But then I personally don't want to have to log into one more freaking thing like Facebook Messenger and have to start checking all that stuff. Do you guys use more of the messaging through those apps versus texting in that case, or?
100%. Because where are my clients? A text, that's almost like it's a great question, but what I do is I follow all of my clients. And what I do is I turn on post notifications. I know when all my clients are having babies, and guess what? I'm the first person commenting. And I don't even comment real estate stuff. Like, I never want to be that guy saying like, hey, it looks like you need a bigger house, like wink, wink. No, I keep it so personal. With your question about personal versus business, a lot of my posts are business, but a lot of my story is personal. So when it comes to like relating with other people, I want to show the behind the scenes. And when it comes to my clients, I have all my clients' phone numbers, but where are they spending their time? That's where I want to be.
Go ahead.
I think that answers it. So.
Okay,
I kind of already knew it.
He doesn't
So.
want
I agree. I agree.
I was like, all
Okay,
right,
next
I just gotta
question.
look at it. And that's where, I mean, a handwritten card, if you have the address, like was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
5 minutes.
That's the
my
cherry on
personal
top.
Favorite thing
Yeah.
every morning was writing those out just randomly to people.
Super underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I know there's some other questions, but I want to let you ask them individually, the panelists, just because they need break or some people in the meeting staff needs to break down. But feel free to stay, ask. I thank you all for supporting the event, for supporting the cause. Hopefully you were able to get some small sound by the way, even if it's just one thing that inspires you to either forge a brand or maybe take a step in some space. If you learn nothing, you got to drink some above average wine. And you supported a great cause, which was City's Dreams Again, so I am really grateful for that. So thank you. I appreciate these panelists and their contributions.